إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أما بعد. Indeed, all praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah to bless us for being here on the special day of Yawm al-Jum'ah. We ask Allah to forgive us for any mistakes that we have done, knowingly or unknowingly. We send salams unto His noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, unto the Ahlul Bayt, the Khulafa al-Rashideen, and the Salaf al-Salihin. Today, what I would like to speak on is something what we call mu'jiza. Now, mu'jiza is the Arabic word for miracles. And there are two kinds. There are mu'jiza and there is karama. Now, mu'jiza is miracles done by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Karama is miracles done by the friends of Allah, the awliya of Allah, the saints and the pious people. But I will be focusing on mu'jiza. Now, mu'jiza comes from the root word ajaza. And ajaza means something that is incapable. So you might be thinking, well, mu'jiza means something that is incapable. But mu'jiza is an act of something that is done by someone, or it is done by people, not ordinary people. So ajaza is something that is incapable like regular people. So mu'jiza is only for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And miracles that are performed by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we'll be diving into some miracles of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But many of us are not aware of the miracles that happened at the time of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We may know a few, probably 2, 3 or 4, depending on the person and their level of education. Some who go to seek the knowledge, they might know more than 10, more than 20. Some people might know 2, some people may know 3, some people know less than 10. But this is our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are supposed to know the miracles that happen. Now, as a Muslim, if I ask what are the miracles that Isa alayhi salatu wa salam did, we would name it off the bat. We would say that he did so and so, he did so and so, this happened so and so. We know the miracles of Isa alayhi salatu wa salam, but we know just a few of our own Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Isa alayhi salatu wa salam, yes, he is a prophet, but he was not sent to us. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is our own prophet. We are supposed to know the miracles that happen. So, what are some of the miracles that we know? We may know the Quran is a miracle. Mi'raj is a miracle that happened. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam splitting of the moon. And some people may know that water flowed through the fingers of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is the bare minimum that we know. Some people may know flow through even more. But this is just the limit that we limit ourselves to know. But the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he had hundreds or maybe thousands of miracles performed. And the scholars, they said that each prophet that came with a miracles, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came with miracles better than that. So for instance, Musa alayhi salatu wa salam, when he parted the Red Sea, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he split the moon in half with his fingers. He parted the moon with his fingers. Isa alayhi salatu wa salam, what did he do? He walked on water. Our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he had water flowing through his blessed fingers. But this is some of what we know. Some may even know of things that happen as growing up. You might hear stories, you might hear narrations, but it is that you do not know that for sure. You just hear it. So you might hear it and think, well, all right, I wonder if this is true or not. So what exactly is a miracle? So, for example, for us, a miracle, we may say something that we cannot comprehend, we cannot understand, we cannot give an answer to. For example, we're going down the road and someone give us a bad drive, and we swerve off the road and we are heading towards a light pole. Now, we know in our mind and we see the light pole in front of us and we are going to hit that light pole, but for some reason, something that happens, we swerve around the light. Now, if you go to tell someone that story, by again an accident, somebody ran off the road and I was going to hit a light pole, but for some reason I swerve around it. They might think you're mad. If you're going towards a light pole, how you can't just do it? This is something that we cannot express or we cannot explain. It is an act of something that we cannot understand. But what are some of the miracles? Now, we know for a fact that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he split the moon in half. But what about the sun? Have we done any miracles that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did with performing any miracle towards the sun or about the sun? There are narrations that said that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was together with Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he fell asleep on the lap of Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and in some narrations it said that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was getting revelation at that point in time. Some narrations said that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam slept on Ali's leg and he did not want to wake the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam awoke and said, Ali, did I pray? And Ali said no. But what had happened is that the sun had set already and they had missed the Asr Salah. So the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he waved his hand and he brought back the sun by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he held it there for a few moments until they could have prayed their Asr Salah. Some companions, they said, we saw the sun set and then it rose again between the mountains and stood there for a time, and then it set again. Just by the miracles of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bringing back the sun and holding it there just to pray Asr Salah. And this is one of the miracles. There are other miracles as well. What about the miracles of the trees? The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent as what? Rahmatul al-Alameen. He was a mercy to everything, the whole mankind, and all the world. So the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he had a connection with every single thing in the world. Anything that you can think of, he had a connection with. He had connections with the trees, he had connections with the stone, he had connection with food. Anything that you can think of, he had a connection with. Because he was sent as what? A mercy to all the worlds and everything within. So, for instance, we may hear narrations that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he used to walk, the pebbles or the rocks, they used to send salams upon him. Now I am not making these things up. These are things that are recorded in Hadith. When he used to walk, the stone or the rock used to give salams to him. What about food? When he was going to eat, the food used to give salams upon him as well. The food used to talk to him as well. There's a narration that is either one or two of the narrations where the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he went to the market and purchased some meat, or either someone invited him to eat. And what had happened is that the meat was a piece of lamb, and the lamb had been poisoned. And the piece of lamb told the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Ya Rasulullah, do not eat me for I am poisoned. Imagine this, you go to eat and eat and he's talking to you. What would you do? There's another narration which talks about the poisoned meat, where the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he ate the meat and because of that he became ill. These are the connections that we have. These are the miraculous events that happen. What about trees? There are narrations where the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was in the middle of nowhere and he was with some companions and he wanted to answer the call of nature. But they were in the middle of nowhere and the companions, they saw some trees coming towards the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam out of nowhere. And they surrounded the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he relieved himself. After he had finished, they went back to where they were. So the companions, they went to that specific spot looking for, that particular area. And if we go to answer the call of nature somewhere out in the wild or somewhere, you would know that there would be signs that someone is there. You might see sand scattered, dirt all over, wetness or something like that. You would know that there are signs that someone is here. When the companions went to that specific spot to look, they did not see any scattered sand or anything, but what did they find? They found that that specific spot was smelling of musk. And this is a miracle of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that his body is pure. Whatever comes out, his body is pure. Saliva is pure. Urine is pure. Nobody, we could say, hey, this man will not be here, but we want to see what he will not be. And when we see, it's smelling like heat. Because why? We are not like the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There's a next narration concerning the tree, the crying tree. And we all know of this is the tree trunk. When you heard of this growing up, when the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was given sermon, bayan, and he used to lean against the tree trunk, and within some time they had built the mosque, and he went to give sermon within the mosque. And they heard a tree, they heard a crying or wailing sound. And when they went to see what had happened, they saw that this tree trunk was crying. And in some narrations, there's a lengthy hadith to it, but I will just summarize the hadith. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he hugged the tree trunk and he said, if I did not do this, the crying of this tree trunk would have been until this time, until the day of judgment. This is the kind of connection that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had. The miracles that happened. And what about animals? He had connections with every single thing, as I said. There's a specific animal, a donkey, and that donkey, he named the donkey Ya'afur. Some narrations have Ya'afur, some narrations have Ufir. And this donkey, whenever the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wanted to call someone, he would go, the donkey would go to that specific house or person, and he would take his head and knock it against the home of that person. And when they saw that it is the donkey, they would know that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was calling them. And after the demise of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the donkey fell in a state of depression. And he did not eat or drink or anything. And he fell in a well and he died. This is the special connection. These are the miracles that happen. And before I end, I would like to talk about something that one of the beliefs of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah is that these are miracles as well. That the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he had the knowledge of the unseen, ilmul ghaib. We do not say that he had all the knowledge, but we say that he had some knowledge that Allah had gave him. And what is this? something that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foretold. And we may know of other hadiths where the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foretold his demise. The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foretold of things that was happening, that will happen and is going to happen. And if we look at the Quran is one of the greatest miracles. You will see that the Surah Rum, it deals with the Romans. And the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foretold about this. And we may know of other narrations where the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was with Uthman ibn Affan and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhum. They were on Mount Uhud. And the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, while they were walking, the mountain started to shake. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "O Uhud, be firm. For there is a Nabi, a Siddiq, and two martyrs upon you." How did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam know that Uthman ibn Affan and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq were going to be martyred? There are other narrations that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foretold about Ali being martyred. There are many things that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had, and he foretold, and this is ilmul ghaib, knowledge of the unseen, and these are things that are miracles of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Before I end, we as Muslims, we should know our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We should learn about the characteristics of him. We should learn about the life of the Rasul. We should know about things that happened at his time. So when we are going down in the grave and the angel asks us, "Who is this man?" we will answer with the speed of light, because why? We had learned about the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this time. We do not want to be in a state that when we go to the grave and the angel asks, "Who is this man? What do you have to say about this man?" and we do not know what to say, because why? We cannot even say anything because we do not know why. We didn't have any knowledge about this. So let us as Muslims learn about our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله.